a college clarion call. Come be a strong and youthful band. For God and country, freely pledge we all, led by the flag for which we stand. Blue for the mind that seeks the good and true, red for our province in the game, white for the glory of a heart that's pure, bright with an ever-shining flame. Alma Mater, thee be hail, God give thee earth and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all, for God, our land and SFS. Alma Mater, thee be hail, God give thee earth and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all, for God, our land and SFS. With truth and love, let us united be, true to our glorious college name. High on the hill, a beacon light is she, leading our children on to faith. March on to glory is a message full, spread truth and love both far and wide. Loyal to the hands who reins of guidance hold, teacher and pupil side by side. Alma Mater, thee be hail, God give thee earth and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all, for God, our land and SFS. Alma Mater, thee be hail, God give thee earth and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all, for God, our land and SFS.
A very calm and good morning to everyone present on this online forum. Hope all of you are healthy and safe by the grace of God. I am Raya Moria, your host for the day. On behalf of the management, our principal, Dr. Katie Thomas, and the staff of St. Francis de Sales welcome you all to today's student development program. The topic for today's session is presentation skills and leadership. A leader is said to be the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. The leader has to know if the way he or she is showing is the right way or not, or how can he or she pave a path for his team to succeed and a path which will ensure smooth functioning of the team. And presentation skills are the basic requirement at each and every point of life, be it any occasion or facing a job interview. As it is said, the first impression is the last impression. Today, Professor Shine Anthony will guide us on this topic. Professor Shine Anthony is currently serving as the Dean, Training and Development Social Outreach. He is from the Department of Computer Science in St. Albert's College. He is a national level soft skill trainer, motivational speaker, and a strategic planner. Professor Shine Anthony is also well known for academic leadership, and he has taken interest in teaching and learning through electronic media. He has engaged more than 180 residential camps for students and youth. To talk about his accomplishments, he is the recipient of Educational Icon Award 2019, Academic Leadership Award 2019, Best Nodal Officer Award by Election Commission of India in the year 2018, Prakruti Mitra Award and Raktadaan Award in 2015. As a Dean of Training and Development and the Director of Albertian Center for Human Resource Development and Research, Professor Shine Anthony has organized a number of faculty development programs and training programs for college and school teachers. He is also a corporate human resource trainer. He has represented India in the World Youth Parliament in 2017 at Beijing, China. Before we proceed with the talk, I request our participants to post all your questions and doubts related to today's topic in the Microsoft Teams question and answer section and YouTube live chat box. We'll take up these questions at the end of this session. Sir, it is indeed an honor to have you with us today. I request you to take over and share your insights and guide us on the topic for the day. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Raya, and beloved father, beloved principal, and my dear faculty members, dear students. Today I will be presenting on effective presentation skills. That was the point that I have planned for. But while Raya was introducing me, there was a point also with regard to the leadership. I will touch the leadership at the last part of my presentation. We'll start with the concept of effective presentation skill as of now. I hope my presentation as well as my audio is perfect.
Professor, your presentation isn't not visible, but yes, you're audible.
Yeah, it's fine now. Please go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Father. So we'll start with the effective presentation skill. I believe that all the students will understand the importance of the presentation skill after the program. Or I believe that almost everyone is well aware about the presentation skill. The first thing that I would like to share for today's the next 45 to 1 hour is will be as follows. The first will have a general introduction of what does a presentation skill mean by. Then we'll plan our presentation. Then we'll discuss about the sequence of the presentation and how to create an effective visual aids. And last one, some tips and tricks or the techniques of the presentation. And we'll have some practice time also in case if the time permits. So that is the agenda for today. So I would like to start the concept like great speakers are not born, they are trained. That's an important quote that I would like to keep always with me. So the great speakers are not born, they are trained. So do remember the great speakers have to be trained. So the training is the important or the vital element for the presentation skill. So what do you mean by a presentation or a presentation skill? Uh, the, the presenting is nothing but it is basically a skill which is developed through experience and training. So presentation is a skill which is developed through experience and training. So the two element, the experience and training is very important in this skill. So whenever we get an opportunity to present, like Ria was presenting the entire program, as well as she introduced beautifully about me, and that is a skill which is developed through experience and training. She might get, she might have received training earlier, but in case if she don't have any experience, then the quality of delivery, the quality of presentation varies. The degree of presenting, the quality of presenting varies with regard to the experience as well as the training. So whenever we get more experience and more training, it improves the skill called the presentation or the presenting. So do believe that presenting is a skill which can be developed, Underline that word. It can be developed through experience and training. So don't worry, in case if you don't have a skill like that, it can be developed through training as well as the experience. So don't worry in case if you don't have the skill of presenting. And do remember that they are not born with that skill, they are actually trained. So moving to a definition kind, a presentation is something set forth to an audience for the attention of the mind, which produces a result. So repeating, that presentation is something set forth to an audience for the attention of the mind. And when does a presentation becomes an effective presentation? When it produces a result which is defined earlier. Okay, the result which is defined earlier, if we can achieve the results which is defined earlier, then we could get an effective presentation. Just 1 second, I will be back. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah, my children are playing all near to me. Yeah, let me come back. So the presentation definition says that it's something set forth to an audience for the attention of the mind, and effective presentation is nothing but when a presentation produces a desired result, we can say it as an effective presentation. So the main purpose of presentation is to share the information and to ensure that people do something that we desire for. So to educate or to inform the people, the two main purpose of a presentation is to inform or educate the people. Second is to persuade to do something, right? So the main purpose of the presentation are two: to inform or to educate the people, or a person or a group of people, or a society in general, uh, or to influence in such a way that we make them to do a specific task or a goal. We try to do a specific activity through them. That is the purpose of a presentation. So an effective presentation, this is a small trick for the presentation. uh, the first thing is to you should control your anxiety. You should not fight it, but you should control it. Each and every presentation have to be audience centered, and it should accomplish the objective that is defined earlier. And there should be fun element in your presentation, and the fun should be both for it should be for two people, one for yourself as well as your audience. There are a lot of presentations where we can see that only the presenter uh, gets satisfaction, not the audience will never follow the presenter. Okay. And there are some presentations where the audience laugh a lot, like a lot, and enjoys a lot, but it may not be really interesting for the presenter. Okay. But if we would like to become an effective presenter, to deliver an effective presentation, you should ensure a fun element in two area, one for the audience as well as one for you. Then only you can ensure the effective presentation. And the main important thing that you have to remember in your mind, say for example, they have given me 15 minutes, the time frame, and 10 minutes for the Q&A. So that have to be there in your mind, and it should not bother you, but you should frame your presentation in such a way that you conduct it within the time frame that was given to you, that is given to you. So moving to the second part of my presentation, that is about the planning your presentation. How to plan your presentation. Planning your presentation includes some steps. The first one is to determine the purpose, define the objective of your presentation. Second is to assess your audience. You should know who is in front of you. Okay, that's the first thing that you should know. So success depends on your ability to reach out to your audience. Reach out to your audience. So success depends on your ability to reach your audience. Okay. So sharing from the first part, in case if you fail to access your audience, then everything is finished. You should know how many people are there, what is their knowledge level, their motivational level, and so things. Then only you can ensure whether you success. Whether you can share an effective presentation or not. So the next thing is regarding the planning the space, like number of seats if it is a physical one, or else if it is a virtual one. Like me, I'm sitting in the living room, but no one will understand whether I'm in a living room or not. But when my children's come, it might make me a disturbance. So planning the space is an important thing. That's what I would like to share. Say, for example, in the virtual environment, the audio visual equipment is an important aspect. Distractors, say, for example, when children's played over here, they were distractors for my presentation. It won't. I won't achieve. I won't achieve success in case if there are a lot of distractors. But we should have a plan. We should have a plan how to handle the distractors also. Okay, so do remember that there will be distractors in many forms. Uh, maybe as some of the audience may be murmuring between. Some of the audience may not be interested the emotional aspect may not be good on that specific day and time. There are enormous. There are a number of reasons for distractions. But anyway, if it is a physical, we could try to make uh, get the attention of everyone, uh, so that we can make it an effective presentation. So the planning of space, arrangement of the seating, the audiovisual equipment, taking the audiovisual equipment, distractors, those comes to the third one, which is known as a planned space. And what day and what time will be the best suitable for presentation? That's another question. Definitely, I believe it. That doesn't matter. But some people believe that morning will be the best suited time, as you will be fresh. Some say that you will be very fresh in the early morning time. So it is up to you all. Like, it's how you develop your skill. Believe that all the teachers know that any day at any time they have to take decision. So that's not a big deal for the who is going. Who is entering to the teaching profession. But in general, everyone believes that the morning will time. And if we
Excuse me,
plan
Professor.
more, yes.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but
Is it not audible? Please carry on.
there's a small tiny gray box on the right bottom of your screen. It's my request to
Okay.
you, please, can you minimize it?
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes, Professor. Thank you so much. Please
Thank you.
continue.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. You can call this also as a distractor. Taking the people. The presenter as well as the audience. So when I shared about the third one, planning the arrangements. This is one of the audio technical or the technical aspect that which the presenter have to be taken care at the beginning itself, right? So this is known as the planning concept. Okay, so or else there will be the people have to interfere in between. Okay, so you are responsible. You in the sense the presenter is responsible to ensure such things. So you have to plan in a such a way, the presenter have to plan in a such a way that you should have minimized that thing at the beginning itself, right? So that is my responsibility, my in the sense the presenters. So I believe that each and every one over here have to be a presenter. At least you have to present your assignments. Yeah, you have to present your project reports, the project that you undertake. Okay, so there is, I mean, we have to do the presentation at least couple of times in a day itself. That's what I believe. Okay, uh, so regarding the more planning aspect, you have to plan for organizing the things, determine the main points to 2 to 5. Have you noted that more planning has been, I mean, I have divided the top points into 5 points. Okay, so that is an important thing. Divide your points, main points, into one or two, I mean, sequential order. You put it in sequential order in a numerical way, 1 to 5 or up to you all, right? And whatever you share, in case if you can give some evidence of the which can substantiate that information, that will be very good. Substantiate that data, that will be very good, and it will uh, ensure the authenticity of your presentation. Okay. A transition is nothing but moving from one point to another. Okay, that is a concept that I would like to share in the transition. I'm not talking about the transition between the slides. I share the transition between the points. Okay, the points that we share, and the presenter should have an outline. Presenter should have an outline of the entire thing. So repeating from the beginning, when you plan your presentation, first determine the purpose, second assess your audience, third you are supposed to plan the space, fourth you have to define when you are going to present, and the fifth one you have to plan to organize your presentation. Okay, that is about a planning aspect. Okay, so there are a lot of type of presentation. There will be scientific approach. There are, I mean, these are the four things that come across in the presentation structure. One is a scientific approach. Second one is a chronological structure. There's another thing which is known as a question and answer structure. There is another thing, problem and solution structure. Okay, you can take any of this approach. Okay, a scientific approach, in case if you would like to have a theoretical aspect and a theory, and you explain the theory and prove it with an example. Okay, that is a scientific way of doing the things. Chronological order. In the chronological order, say for example, India got independence in 1947. Okay, and such after that, each year, in the importance of each year can be shared, and what had happened in that year can be shared. That is a chronological way of doing things. Or else, say for example, in day one we have done dash thing, day two dash, day three dash. There should be a chronological structure, 1, 2, 3 order. That's it. That's with regard to the chronological structure. In question and answer section, I mean question and answer structure, where the audience is given opportunity to ask questions, and the presenter is just replying to the questions. Okay, so there won't be a defined structure for your presentation. You have to be very much prepared. You have to be very much prepared to answer the questions of the audience. That's and the interviews. That is like the question and answer structure. Okay, and the last one is a problem and solution. I will raise a problem, and I will try to address that problem with a solution. Okay, that is how the problem and solution structure works. Okay. So these are the some points that I would like you to remember. You should carry some keyword reminders. There should be a conversational flow. There should be flexibility. There should be more responsive. You in the sense the presenter should be more responsive to the audience. Definitely, in the virtual environment, it is entirely different. But in the presentation, in general, you should be very audience centered as well as responsive to the audience, right? So the first thing, the keyword reminders, you should carry some paper or some kind of keyword reminders with you, maybe a pocket diary or something like that, in case if you're going to present, or the presentation itself can be uh, treated as a keyword reminder, but consider that they will be not in the virtual environment, in the offline environment, in case if there is a power failure or something happens in between also. You should have a backup plan where you have to continue your presentation, your session. Okay. That is what I share about the keyword reminders. Okay. Second, the conversational flow as shared, uh, it should flow from your heart. It should flow from your heart. Okay, that is an important question. In case if I am not convinced about the topic or the things that I am going to share, there won't be any conversation flow. If there are too much of distractors, definitely there won't be a conversation flow. So you have to remember, you should carry a keyword reminder. You should ensure that there is a conversational flow. At the time of distraction, you should ensure that your conversation continues with the audience. Right. Third thing is flexibility. There might be something might happen in between, but you have to be prepared to handle that. That is an important thing. You should be very much flexible to that. The last one, as I shared earlier, you should be responsive to the audience. When we start the presentation, I would like to share the sequence of presentation. Moving to the part 3, that's a presentation sequence. The first thing that I would like to share is how to build a rapport. So the first thing that you are supposed to do is, in case if you enter into a classroom, we build a relationship, we build bonding with the people. That's what class, right? So that's the first important thing that you have to ensure. Building a rapport with the people who you are going to spend time, that is an important thing. So building rapport with the people. So rapport is nothing but the relation marked by harmony and affinity. The audience members who trust you and feel that you care. Okay, so that's an important thing. And second, try to learn the names, mingle, and definitely opportunity to reinforce or correct the audience assessment. Uh, as we shared earlier, the presenter should assess the audience earlier itself, right? We should know the audience, their knowledge level, their motivational level, and all the other things, right? Uh, uh, say, in case at the beginning itself, when you interact, you can, there is an opportunity to reinforce or to correct the audience assessment. Okay, so there you will get five to 10 time to interact with the people that can be defined by yourself, the presenter, based on your uh, people, the audience in front of you. So that's the first thing. And do remember two things. Good is an important thing. First impression is the best impression. That's an important uh, thing that you have to remember. First impression does matters a lot. So ensure that the first impression you make it the best one. Okay, and Raya, can you say? And the last impression will be the
First impression, the first impression is always the last impression.
no. The first impression have to be the best impression, definitely, and the last impression will be when we conclude. The last impression will be the lasting impressions. I consider that yesterday I had a very good lunch in. We had a very good lunch, and we started with a soup, and we had a wonderful uh, course in between. But at the last, what I still remember in my mind is that I had a wonderful chocolate at the end. So the last impression is the lasting impression. Do remember, the first impression should be the best. There is no confusion in that. And the last impression is the lasting impression. So ensure that the first and the last impressions the opening mark and the closing mark, opening mark as well as more rapport, introduce the topic. Definitely, in case if you can place wonderful humor, short stories, statistics, and in case if you can provoke the thinking capacity of thinking pattern of your audience, that will be wonderful. Make audience think, invite participation. Like say, for example, I asked Raya in between something, so that is inviting participation, right? Uh, when I share skill, which is a very important topic of today, and that will be the real skill that you have to achieve in case if you want to climb the ladder of success. So that is an important thing. So introducing yourself and identifying and sharing the objective with the people or the audience, with the students, is an important thing. And getting more attention from the audience part, building more uh, uh, harmony uh, and rapport with the people. That is another thing that you have to remember. Do do try to prepare some humors in between and some show your audience. Okay, pause in the sense, stop speaking and ask the response and get the response. Hear the response of your audience. So that can be a base or a platform where you reassess in between and assess whether your presentation are going properly or whether you would like to correct yourself further. That's an important thing. And how to complete your opening. Clearly define the topic. If informative, clear the parameters for the content within the time. And if it is persuasive, then ensure the what the problem is and who cares and what are the solutions for that. And give an overview of what we are going to share on today. And when we move to the presentation part, that is the third portion, uh, uh, there should be transition from one point to another, as I shared earlier. You should support it with the evidence, and you should give wonderful examples. You should ensure the feedback and questions from the audience, and do remember the attention of the speaker has to be on the audience and he should focus on the topic, right, than the humor or the short stories, right? So these are some of the points that I would like to share. When we say about the goal, when we conclude your presentation, inform that audience that you are almost done with your presentation, about to close. Summarize the main points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something to remember or call for action. You have to engage the audience in such a manner that they have to go and do something. A call for action is an important thing of each and every presentation. Call for action. The take home and I mean, what we do is the take home assignments. Okay, the assignments that we have to do it in our own way, and where the actual learning is going to take place. Actual learning is going to take place. In the other side, in case if it is a presentation, call for action. So, for example, I still remember I went for a debate program. I was a judge in the debate program, which is a United Nations program, which was hosted by the Albation Foundation of Ours itself, and where the people shared about the climate action. I mean, climate change and the action that we have to take to solve the climate issue. I was actually surprised that each individual were sharing uh, a lot of call for action. And personally, I was so impressed that from that moment onwards, I have made a decision that I'm going to change my personal life. Right? I will reduce the carbon emission. I will try to use, I mean, almost, I'm not quite sure whether I can use all the time, but I will ensure that I will use more often the public transportation. That was a call for action concept, right? That's a wonderful thing that I have ever heard. I mean, that happened the last month. That's what I remember personally a lot of call for action that happened in that specific debate program, and answer the questions of your audience. Okay. And before concluding, this is an important thing. Tell them what you told them. Okay. So repeat, tell them what you told them. So in at the last, when you tell them what you have already shared with them, that will be entirely different. Okay. In time of your presentation, you will be using uh, various techniques to share the message. But at the end, when you are going to conclude, you have to summarize the main points. That is, tell them what you taught. All right. So there, you are not going to share about a point. I mean, there you are not going to share about the stories, or there you are not going to share about the statistics, humors, or so things. But instead, you are going to ensure that you summarize the main points and hit them, shoot them into their mind as well as their heart, two way. I mean, into two places, one into their mind and another into their heart. Okay, so tell them what you have told them. That's an important thing while you conclude, right? And the last, moving to my fourth part, that is effective presentation techniques. The presentation style is the important thing. So the first one that I would like to share is about three elements of presentation. The first thing is the vocal technique. You have to be, you have to master these four things. The first thing is the loudness. The second is the pitch. The next one is the rate of the word that you use, and the pause or the uh, space in between each word. That is what I meant by the pause. All right. So the loudness. Sometimes we change the meaning of a word with the loudness. And say, for example, I still remember, I was actually sitting with one of the eminent professor and a career guru in an interview. So it was an interview, as I shared earlier. The advertisement was in Malayalam Daily, and uh, the advertisement, the matter of the advertisement was like this: require computer operator who have sound knowledge in computers. Simple. Preferably degree holders. It was for a school, and school was finding a very difficulty to identify a good administrator who sticks with them in a long-term manner. And they failed with 4 or 5 administrators, and they have decided that they will identify as, identify a person from their own uh, area, and they will train that person, and they will educate him, and will ensure that that person sticks with that institute throughout his career. That was a plan that they had, but they don't want to uh, share with the people. Instead of that, they had given such an advertisement. uh, Obviously, everyone thought it was for a computer operator, and a lot of people came for the interview. It was on a Saturday. That is the only day where I will be free at least, or I do engage with the other entities. All right. And I was in the interview board, and nearly 10 to 15 people came for the interview, and the person who I would like to share came in between. And when she came, she was very confident, and we could understand within 15 to 30 seconds that she is very good and she is very uh, confident. And I started the questions, and as it's a technical, I started some questions from the computer science background, and she answered it very beautifully. And then this professor asked her, "Do you have a degree?" That was a question. Do you have a degree? And we interviewers believe that in case if you can judge a person within 30 seconds, and if the mark is same at the end of the interview for that specific person, then you are a very good interviewer. So when I saw this lady, I put 10, I mean, out of 10, I put 8 out of 10. And within 30 seconds, we judge. I mean, I judge. Within 30 seconds, I judge a person. And at the last, in case if that 8 is right, based on the interactions and other things, then I believe that I have judged it positively. Right? That's how I do. So the answer for that, do you have a degree? She said she don't had a degree. She said that was her answer. And only because of that, she lost that job. Only because of that. The response of true person, I will share the real message with the real elements. Okay. So loudness, pitch, rate, and pose do carries the message. The same word or the same sentence might change. It can change the meaning with regard to the loudness, pitch, rate, and the pose. And deviation from the normal things is an important thing. Deviation from the norm for emphasizing is an important thing. Say, for example, sometimes we might use a local slang to emphasize some point so that I get a lot of attention from the audience, so that I can grab the attention of the audience purely to that point. Okay. So deviation from the normal thing to emphasize the point. The second element is about the body language, the eye contact, the gestures, the postures, the space that we use is the third element. Whether the presenter is seen to everyone, whether all the audience sees me properly, that's an important thing. And the movement. Are you a statue while you are doing a presentation? That's an important question that all the presenter have to assess themselves. Are you a statue? Or do you resemble a robot at some time? Uh, Say, for example, robots have very specific movements. Okay, that is defined. Okay, so the presenters will move from point X to point Y or point Y to point X, and they, in turn, in some of the presenters might move to point Z. So it will be a 3-point movement, X, Y, Z. I mean, that is how the teachers also move in the classroom. It's defined. It's defined movements. Okay. So they sometimes act like a robot. Okay. So never be a robot. Okay. So, for example, in the exam room, while the examinations are going on, there will be some people called the special squad or the squad. We are not quite sure how do they move, right? How do they move? Sometimes they will pop up from this place, pop up from that way. I mean, we don't know. The squad is entirely different. Okay. So I'm not saying that the presenter have to be like a squad person who have to come from the dark, but he should, I mean, he should pose a movement like such a manner that he should roam around. And in case if the social status or the social environment or the social framework allows you to pat, do pat. Okay, that is an important thing. Okay, whenever you ask question, whenever you engage with the people, if you would like to appreciate a person, do appreciate. Obviously with the words, and in case with the gesture, or in case if you can go beyond that, that will be appreciated. But you should do remember, and you should assess whether the social framework of that specific environment allows you to do that. That's an important. And uh, common problems that we face, uh, definitely all the presentation will fail if it is not an audience centered, and there will be uh, 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 sounds comes in between, which is called as a verbal fillers. Whenever I mean, I do a lot, but I have tried to reduce. I have tried to reduce specifically the verbal fillers. Okay, instead of that, do take pause in between. That is okay. There is no confusion in that. Don't. Sometimes it might affect the transition of your points, but that is also safe to take pause in between. Okay, instead of saying like like, right, that's that word. uh, I mean, some of the teachers use, do you follow me? And the students will students are going to call them as the follow me is coming, follow me is coming. I mean, a lot, I mean, all the teachers are students at one point of time, so they know what happens in between, what students speaks in their absence, what the student speaks when the teacher comes in, and when they move out. I mean, we all know what happens. Okay, so the verbal fillers and the unrelated words or the phrases that we put in between to fill the fill in the words where or when we don't get the actual words, right? That's the verbal fillers. And sometimes we get frustrated, and we lip smack and do a lot of other things. And some important tips that I would like to share with you is 5 tips. The first one is the smile. Second is the breathe. Third one is on or under time. The first one, do pose a wonderful. You should have a wonderful smile in your face throughout your presentation. Okay, and I would like to share one more thing. Try this tip. You are going to win all the day. Uh, Definitely, we all have a lot of issues, but try to keep your smile. Act, act. In case even if you don't have a smile in your face, please do act. At the end, at the end, your mind will also be very cool, and it will also try to smile. Okay, it will also smile, and you will be pleasant as a wall. Okay, and do remember, throughout the presentation, do carry a smile, and don't forget to breathe in between. When we share a lot of things, we forget to breathe. So when you don't get the words, instead of using the verbal filler, take in, I mean, inhale, breathe. And the third, I normally don't use water at all, but I want to see the water. I want to see the water, which is shared in front of me, so that I'm too confident on that aspect. Next one is the notes. As I shared earlier, keyword reminders. Do carry a keyword reminder. And the last one, finish or close it under the time. And the last part is about the visual aids that I have to share. Visual aid, the purpose of the visual aid is to enhance the understanding, adding a variety, supporting the claims, lasting the impact. In case if we use it poorly, it can be a distraction, and it will be an ineffective presentation. That's an important thing that you have to remember. These are the various visual aid examples, the PowerPoint slides, overhead transition things, the graphs and charts, the pictures, the films and videos, flip charts, and anything. So for example, a paper, in case if I show a paper like this, that means that is also a visual aid. Anything is which is visual that can be shared to the audience can be called as a visual aid. Anything, that's up to you. And uh, what is the purpose of the visual aid is to supplement the presentation, share the outline of the main point, serve as the audience need. It should be for the audience, it should not be for the speaker, and it should be very simple and clean. As shared earlier, visual aids support the presenter's idea and improve the audience comprehension to the next level. Visual aid adds variety. It helps to illustrate the complex ideas into simple one for the people. And the possessors: speak well, speak effectively, speak with confidence, makes things happen, and ensure that you speak again and again and again. So as shared earlier, the presentation skill, it is a skill. Presentation is nothing but a skill which can be achieved with two things: one with the experience and one with the training, right? Experience and training, that is the important thing that counts, nothing else. All right. And I would like to wind up my session just by sharing the concept of leadership. Leadership is nothing but an ability to leadership is an ability to lead the people. Definitely, yeah. Lead what? Lead individual or a group of people. That's the first thing. In case if you want to lead a people, the first thing that you have to ensure is that you should influence them. How can you influence them? Two ways are there to influence a person. One here and another here. That is, one is their thoughts and another is their emotions. These are the two areas which you have to grab: the emotions as well as their thoughts. Okay. So leadership is a skill to influence a person or a group of persons, thoughts or emotions. For what? For a change. Okay. So leadership is nothing but a skill to influence a person or a group of persons. That's the definition that I give. A person or a group of persons, thoughts or emotions for a social change. So that's the thing that you have to remember. There are a lot of types. I mean, there are some types of leaderships, but I believe that to discuss about the leadership, I require another hour. I believe that I will go in deep in case if we get another opportunity to share specifically on leadership and how you can become an effective leader. So I was concentrating more on effective presentation skill or the presentation skill throughout my session on today. But I would like to touch the presentation. I mean, I would like to touch the leadership skill also as shared by Raya. Uh, as leadership is nothing but it is also a skill which can be nurtured with the training as well as the experience. Definitely, with the training and as well as with the experience, that can also be nurtured. But that is also a basic talent that we possess. There is no confusion there. Some people will get a lot of experience and a lot of training so that that skill is nurtured a lot. Okay. So defining once more, leadership is a skill to influence a person or a group of person or the society in general, their emotions or their thoughts for a social change or for a change. In case if it is not a social, for a change. Okay. So that's for today. I'm really happy that I got such a wonderful opportunity to address you all. On behalf of St. Albert's College Autonomous and my own personal behalf, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the faculty members, especially to the principal, Thomas Sher, and Father Praveen, and all the students who was with me in the last 1 hour. Thank you very much. It's a question and answer session. In case if you have any doubts, I could entertain them.
Thank you, Professor, for your interesting and informative talk. We had a good deal of essential takeaways which will definitely benefit us in future. And as you said, we will proceed further, and we have the question answer section here. So there are a few questions of our participants. And I would like to start with the question of Colonel Paul. Which supporting skills do you think are most important when it comes to a leadership?
To be very frank, I I didn't touch the topic, the leadership at all. But based on the leadership style, based on the leadership style and various skills that you pose, it matters a lot. And based on the situation, say for example, I'm taking just one example. My followers are disturbed. I'm a very good leader. I have n number of skills. Like I will deliver a wonderful talk. I deliver. I have very good communication skill. I'm very good in presenting the things, but I'm not a good listener. I failed there. A leader should be a wonderful listener. A leader should always listen to his people. All right. Leader should always listen to the people. So when you say which skill, which supporting skill, it is based on that specific circumstance, right? I personally believe that a leader is different from his people, his followers. So he should have enormous n number of skills to become a leader. So in case if by point one or two, I'm doing wrong to that term called leadership, right? So I will definitely share the various skills in a session in case if I get another chance, right?
So next question is from Nibin Joseph. His question is, being a shy person, he always moves backward for any presentation. So how can he get rid of his shyness and move with flying colors?
Nibin, the first thing that you have to understand is that when you ask that question, you have broken your shell. Definitely, that is an important thing that you have to understand. When you raised such a question, you have get rid of that your mentality of being backward and shy. That's an important thing that you have to understand. Second, I'm taking my own example. I was really a shy person. I never speak to people. During my school days, I had a lot of people, teachers as my relatives. And one fine day, one of my auntie called me. Do remember that in case if you have a lot of relatives as your teachers, that will be just like a jail. That school or the college will be just like a jail. There is no confusion in that. And my 10 years was too horrible. Okay, don't say to anyone. This is a video. Okay, this is a recorded thing. They might see. Okay, they are retired and they are okay now. Even if they hear us, it's okay. So it was horrible on those days. But I ensure that in my bench, I keep my own place and I stick to that place. And a day, it was just before the Onam celebrations that I still remember. We have a local festival which is called as Onam. Okay. Uh, and we had our school level competitions. And I was sitting in front of the bench, in the front, and I heard my name was calling. And it was for speech contest or something. I was actually surprised. I have never done that. and I went. I mean, when they called, I have to go there. There's no option. And I still remember my first speech was about Onam. Onam is the festival of Kerala. Kerala Onam. Thank you. Thank you very much. This was my first speech. I was actually crying like anything in the stage. And when the results came, I was the first. Out of the 10, I was the first. And Nibin, do you know, I was first from the last, I mean, backward. The list was backward. But I still believe that I was the first. And it changed a lot. It changed me a lot. I had a wonderful mirror. I use. This happened somewhere while I was in the age of 12 or 13, and now I'm 36 or 37, touching 37. Still, I use that mirror. I do practice. I do practice each and every presentation. I do take lectures in front of me. Till now. Even before I go for a public speech, I try to see how I look like. That's a simple way. That is a simple way. When you thought that you are going, that you want to change your shyness, that you want to fly with colors, it's finished with it. And do remember the two things, training and experience. These are the only two tips that I would like to share with you people. Get training, you're on maybe, okay. Say for example, when I do the mirror talk, I'm doing training. I'm training myself. Second, the experience. When I share this class, when I took this class, I believe that I don't count nowadays the sessions that I take, the numbers that I take. I mean, she shared that I took 180 camps. This record was, I mean, that document was created somewhere 5 or 6 years back. The only thing that I changed in that document is about the 2 awards that I got in 18 and 19. Nothing else. The rest thing is, 5 or 6 years back thing. Okay, so it's not a big deal. The big deal is getting experience. So use each and every opportunity whenever you get uh, something to present. In case if you get an opportunity to present something, say for example in my family, when we have a small festival, we all sit together and sometimes I will be the person who shares a message, maybe a family message, maybe a welcome note. So use that opportunity, and that will be the best way that you can ensure that you win your life. There is an anonymous message also.
Professor, another question is,
Yeah.
what values are most important to be as a leader, and how to delegate responsibilities efficiently?
What values are most important to be as a leader? How to delegate responsibilities efficiently? Okay. So I'm quite sure that I'm not going to get a leadership skill class in near future from your college. So I will answer to that question. That will be the important thing. When we say about uh, values, integrity, honesty is an important value in leadership. Of course. In case if a leader is not at all honest, I mean, I have mapped some of the values and skills that a leader should possess, and I defined it with LEADERSHIP, leadership. Each value and each skill is mapped with the leadership. Each characters of leadership. There are L stands for loyalty, and a number of things are there. which I have mapped. I thought that I will go with that presentation later, but when he had asked, the anonymous person had asked the same question. Uh, that's why I was trying to share how to delegate responsibilities efficiently. Okay, how to delegate responsibilities efficiently. In case if you want to share the responsibility, that is an important thing. Say, for example, you have to understand the different styles of leaderships. Say, for example, our prime minister. Uh, our prime minister works in such a manner that uh, he is a good team player, but he tries to ensure that each and everything is reported back to him and ensure that hierarchical pattern is there. All right. So delegation of responsibility is a question with regard to the style of leadership that you use. Okay. So here, I believe that delegative leadership may be the style, and I'm trying to answer in a concept called uh, uh, delegating responsibility or delegating leadership style. Okay, based on delegating leadership style. In case if I am a very good sharing person, the first thing that I have to have in my mind is that I have to believe in my people. I have to believe. If I want to delegate my responsibility to someone, I have to identify the right person and to engage them. Okay. So there are a lot of things required in case if you want to delegate. First, identifying the right person. Second, identifying the right responsibility which have to be shared with right person. That's the second thing. Third, you should have a wonderful communication skill, and you should communicate to that person in such an efficient manner that whatever there is in your mind have to be communicated to that individual so that he get what you thinks. Next, you should be an open-minded person so that the other person, in case if he have some uh, difference of opinion with you, he should share it openly with you, and you should understand in such a manner that you doesn't lose that person and ensure that you win him every time. And last, ensure that the work is done. How? Simple way, with a pure follow-up. And with the follow-up, in case if it is a win or if it is a fail, at the end, leaders should ensure that they celebrate that. So, I will go deep into these things in case if I get another session during leadership. Okay. So, Abelina,
The next
Raya, there is
question.
yes, yeah.
The next question is, how do you rate or measure your own performance?
Come again. I'm sorry.
How can one rate or measure his own performance?
Okay. There are some scientific methods for that, but I'm not sharing on those scientific things. I'm going to take two words from my presentation. It should be fun for the audience. It should be fun for the presenter. At the end, it is so simple. In case if you enjoyed your presentation, if you see that your people is enjoying your presentation, if I want, okay, forget about the scientific aspects. Simple thing. If you enjoyed, if the people enjoy, you won. That's I'm keeping it so simple, right? I'm not going to take a session for the fact. I mean, this is not a faculty development program. This is a student development program. So I thought that I will come to your level. I mean, our level. A very good teacher should be always be a student. That's what to our level. Okay. So students will understand the word fun.
Okay.
Yes, Raina.
We have one last
Sorry,
question.
Raya. Raya.
We have one last question. Sometimes when we present ourselves in front of people, we tend to forget words, mainly when we do not present it in our own mother tongue. How can this be tackled?
So, for example, I face a lot of issues like that. Say, for example, uh, uh, my mother tongue is Malayalam, but in case if I speak in English, the thought process that I do is in Malayalam, in my mother tongue. That is an important thing. The thought process, how I do, and the emotions that I have in my heart can be expressed beautifully in our own mother tongues. All right. So that's an important thing that we have to understand. But it can be overcome with two things I have shared at the beginning of my session itself. In the first slide, that is the only thing. And the first question was also the same question. How can we develop only with two things? Raya, what are those two things?
I'm sorry, Professor, I could not hear you.
Okay. Presentation is a skill developed through dash and dash. It's developed through experience and training. Right. So in case the confidence also can be developed only through uh, training and experience. Do train yourself and uh, engage with experience. Engage. Right. That is how we can. I mean, it's okay to fail. You have to understand that it is okay to fail. In case if you don't get the word, that is okay. Take a pause. Take a pause. Breathe. I mean, breathe. Inhale. Then you will be calm. You can think. Find a better word. Okay. Don't worry on that aspect. Okay. And then answer it. In case if you have such trainings in your personal life, say the mirror talk is one of the best method. Give a mirror talk. Mirror talk, when we do the mirror talks, our mother tongue comes in between. Then we will understand. Then find a good person. Mentors and coaches and some other things are there. I'm just skipping those parts. Find a friend who can invest time on you, who is willing to share the stupid things that you are going to say. Okay, then you will understand. Look at her eyes or his eyes and speak. You will get confidence. Okay. That's a simple method. These are I'm trying to share simple things, right? And I'm not sharing a big or a professional way of doing the things. I will do that, but in case uh, this will be the easiest way how we can achieve the basic of confidence and the basic of presentation skills, right? Yes, Raya.
Okay, Professor. Thank you for answering the questions in a precise and clear manner. We appreciate having you with us today. Moving to the end, I take this opportunity to thank all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this program on presentation skill and leadership organized by the SDP team. At the outset, I thank our today's special guest and resource person, Professor Shine Anthony. Sir, we are really enlightened by your talk today. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. K.T. Thomas, for his guidance. A special thank goes to the organizing committee and technical handlers for their unflinching support and coordination. My heartfelt gratitude to our students for their active participation. With these, we have come to the end of today's program. It's my very humble request to everyone to please fill the feedback form for today's session, and the link for the same has already been posted. We will meet to attend yet another interesting session on the topic Education for Sustainable Development on 15th of October at 10:30 a.m. Till then, please follow government norms, maintain social distance, keep yourself and your family safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah.